So hello everybody, welcome to today's brain and body break. We're gonna do some mindful movement and stretching for the next 20 or so minutes. I'm gonna start us standing up and then I'm probably gonna bring us down to the floor. So if you do have a little bit of space where you can sit on the ground or even lie down, that would be excellent. You don't need anything special, but if you have some sort of soft surface, it's gonna make it a little bit more comfortable. And with all of these practices, I just want to say it's the most important thing is recognizing what's true for your body today and then asking, right, is this helpful or harmful? Is this moving me into a place of greater health, greater relaxation, greater ease, or is this adding strain and stress onto my day and my body in ways that are really not helpful for me? And so, since I don't know what kind of day you're having and what your body is used to or not used to, so I'm going to have you listen to the wisdom of your own body as we go through any of these movements to just check in and notice how it's feeling for you. And just remember, you can always pass or play. You can always follow along. And the important thing is that doesn't need to look like exactly what I'm doing. I want you to sense in and just sort of make the movements your own. Right? The important thing is sort of coming back into that deeper connection with your body as you're moving, right? And then for those of you that maybe have your own movement practice or some sort of yoga practice or, right, just understanding the importance of connecting your mind and your body using both movement and breath as these tools to allow us to fully experience what's going on, right, in the physical center, because a lot of times we kind of ignore a lot of this stuff until it starts yelling at us to take it for a walk and to feed it and so forth. So this is tuning in with that loving attention right now to take care of our bodies. Right? So I'm going to invite you to stand up if you have the space and the ability to do so. You can also try this from a chair. Okay. And then from that standing position, all right, I want you just to think about lengthening your spine, take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, wiggle your toes and feel your body settle into the ground. Again, taking another deep breath in, lengthening, and then exhaling, settling. And just paying attention to right now, some part of your body that feels good, right? Or some part of your body that feels neutral. Or as a friend likes to say, pay attention to a sensation that doesn't suck. So see if you can just notice some part of your body right now that feels pretty good, or at least doing okay. And that might be something as simple as your hands, maybe your feet. Maybe you can feel some part of your chest or your belly, and just noticing that area, just noticing that sensation. And then also recognizing as we're doing movements, right, if you feel sensations that do suck, that do hurt, right, that if you are aware of them, right, if you notice them, that means that you are not them. You can witness them, you can observe them, but you are something greater. And so it gives you that opportunity to decide how you want to relate to that sensation. Because as we move into certain stretches, sometimes it can be a lot. It can be kind of intense. It can feel kind of uncomfortable, but remembering, right, that that's just a sensation and that you're in control and that you're safe as you're doing these things. So I'm going to start with our hands, just taking your hands sort of right here in the front of your legs. All right, and we're going to reach our hands overhead as we breathe in and then allow our hands to drop back down as we exhale. So a couple breaths here, breathing in, arms float up. And then exhaling, arms float down. You can make your breath as loud, as smooth as you like, breathing in and up. And then exhaling down. Two more times, reaching up, getting nice and long, really trying to lengthen your entire body at the top, exhaling, feeling gravity working with you. One more time, coming up and letting it go. Right. Next, we're going to do that same thing, but as we reach our arms down, we're going to let them fall to the side of our body. All right. And then the other piece is rising up onto your toes. If at the top of the motion, you'd like to lift your heels off the ground as if you're going to reach up and touch the ceiling, you can extend and then come back down. So trying this here, breathing the arms up, fingers extending, reaching, everything getting nice and tall. Exhaling, arms float down to the side. Keep going here, following your own breath. If you want to speed it up, you can. If you want to slow it down, you can. Noticing that stretch through your arms, coming down into your shoulders, side of your body. Notice a little bit of heat and maybe fatigue generating in those muscles in your shoulders, just controlling this movement. We're going to do 2 more times, breathing up. Big stretch. Right, feel free to smile. Remember, we're here to enjoy this process. So we're not trying to get anywhere other than to be more in our bodies in a way that has a certain degree of freedom and spaciousness. Good. So taking a moment, we're gonna do a couple shoulder rolls. Squeeze the shoulders up towards your ears. I want you to pinch your shoulder blades back and then drop them down, let them go. Breathing in and up. Exhaling down. Really trying to exaggerate this motion as much as available to your body right now. And slowing it down so you can notice all the different things that are going on. Notice how one shoulder might feel a little tight or tired compared to the other. And just trying to relax your hands, relax your face, relax everything else in your body as you're doing this. One more time. And letting it go. And then next, I'm going to invite you into a sort of wide stance. So we're going to take our legs out a little bit wider here. All right. And I want you to unlock your knees. So just bouncing a tiny bit up and down, feeling that center of gravity. All right, bouncing, feeling your weight pushing into the floor. And just noticing, again, comfort, discomfort. If you want to try bouncing to one side and the other, sort of leaning into one leg. And then each time, if you would like, just trying to deepen it a little bit. Going a little bit lower, sinking your weight down, bending your knees and your hips. And don't worry if you can't get super low, stay wherever feels in that right range for you. And we're just moving a little bit side to side. Good. And then we're going to come back to center. All right, maybe turning your toes out a little bit. Okay, we're going to do another motion now with the arms breathing up and then down through the center. But as we do that, we're going to sink down into a little bit of the squat. Okay, so I'm going to have you kind of squat down, arms reach up as you breathe in. And then exhaling, just pull the hands down your center, let your body sink towards the floor. So already pushing into the ground, reaching up. Nice inhale, exhaling, letting the hands float down your midline. And now we're just synchronizing the lower body and the upper body with the breath, feeling that growing nice and tall as we inhale, feeling that descending, grounding as we exhale. Again, always breathing, smiling, right? Again, noticing some sensation that doesn't suck. And if there's other things that do hurt or bother you, right? Just being really gentle, stopping this motion if you need to, changing it. If you want to go a little bit faster, you can. If you want to go a little bit slower, feeling every little inch. We're going to keep going for about 20 more seconds, just trying this breathing here. And one more time, really enjoying this last one. And then just letting your hands come back down, letting your legs come into an upright position. Good. And just noticing how that felt. to go through that motion. Again, every little piece of this is something that you can practice on your own during the day. You can take one of these motions and just do it for 30 seconds, linking the movement and the breath between calls, between meetings. These are really wonderful ways to just add in this sort of movement snacks during your day and to help bring a little bit more vitality, a little bit more energy into your body, which tends to get stagnant. Things tend to stop flowing when we spend a lot of time just in one position. So next, I'm going to bring us down to the floor, and I recognize that this might not be available to everybody, but if you do have a space where you can just lie down, all right, and I've got a mat here. So moving kind of mindfully down to the floor and just starting sitting on your butt, okay? And just notice how that feels for you. Can you get in a position with your feet are in front of you? All right, and I want you just to grab the outside of your shins or in front of your knees. All right, and we're gonna do a little bit of spine rocking. So you're gonna kind of roll forward, tuck your chin, drop your head. And then you're going to pull into your hands as you lift your chest up and forward, thinking about lengthening your spine, arching a little bit into your back. And then just trying this a couple times. Exhaling as you curl forward, inhaling as you reach up. Two more times here, feeling that motion. And then coming into a nice neutral back, all right? I'm gonna have you actually come all the way down onto your back if you can, keeping your hands right here on your shins and just hugging your knees into your chest. Okay. If you wanna go into a kind of position where you grab your feet in a happy baby sort of pose, you're welcome to try that. Otherwise, just staying here, just gently holding onto your legs, and then beginning to generate a little bit of motion. So slight side to side rocking. And what we're going for here is allowing your spine to begin to release, gently massaging your back into the floor. Continuing some nice big breaths with a little bit of a side to side. And if you want, you can change that up into a circle if that feels nice for you. Kind of gyrating small circles to one direction, circling in the other direction. And just again, thinking about that pressure, noticing that contact with your back, especially kind of lower back with the floor. Good, and then just allowing your feet to come down to the floor. All right, taking a moment here to just rest, letting everything recalibrate to being on the ground. Notice if you're still holding tension anywhere in your body, right? Maybe up here in your chest and your arms are still a little bit tight, or perhaps even in your neck. So I want you just to try to relax everything, letting the ground do the work of holding you and letting gravity do the work of helping things lengthen, loosen, and release. Taking a breath in and a breath out. So we're going to go into a nice spine twist. Now, again, if you have any sort of pre-existing conditions with your spine, please be careful about this one. But I'm going to have you take one leg. You're going to straighten that leg out so it's nice and long down, contacting the ground. Then you're going to grab that opposite knee again, and then allow it to gently fall across your body. So you're twisting your lower back, mid back, hips up and over. You can allow that knee to kind of fall to the side. You can take that hand and help facilitate this stretch by gently pushing your knee down towards the floor. And you want to think about allowing that opposite shoulder to relax and try to stay in contact with the ground. And then breathe. Whenever you reach that end point, you don't want to force anything to move beyond where it's ready to move. You want to encourage it to relax into a position, perhaps of greater range of motion, but we never want to force it when it's not ready. So just noticing that twist, how it feels for you. Take a breath in, breath out. You might feel a little bit of tension, a little bit of constriction around the belly and the midsection, and that's just normal being with that. And then we're going to slowly kind of begin to unwind, coming back to center, resetting yourself, right? Taking a moment here, I like to push both feet into the floor again, kind of help everything align back to that vertical axis. And then we'll move on to the other side. So straightening that opposite leg down to the floor, lengthening it, letting your body relax, and then pulling that knee up and letting it drop up and over to the opposite side. Notice how this might be a little different. Notice if you might get a little small cracks out of your back. And what you can do is each time you exhale, you can think about facilitating a little bit deeper into that position. Just asking this question, what else can I let go of? Is there tension I can release from my body? And also, is there tension that I can release from my mind? Is there things that I don't need to think about or worry about right this moment? You can even ask, right, what have you been paying attention to? There's a good chance when you're lying down on your back that a lot of those regular worries tend to float away when we have this different perspective. So I'm going to have you slowly begin to unwind, coming back to center, resetting, feet coming back into the floor again, taking a breath in, breath out. Good. And then I'm going to have you try straightening one leg up into the air. Right? And now notice how straight is that leg, right? A lot of us tend to have very tight sort of hamstrings. We tend to be pretty restricted in this extension of our knee. So even just trying to straighten your leg and pull your toes back towards your face, you should begin to feel a pretty strong stretch down the back side of that leg. So just holding that stretch, breathing a little bit. If you want to take your hands and even help gently grab sort of behind your thigh or up above the knee, adding in a little bit of extra passive help here. And then relax, bend the knee, kicking that leg out, up and down a little bit. We're going to come into that stretch one more time. We're going to hold it for about 6-7 seconds and then relax. So straighten the leg, pull the toes back towards your nose. Find that stretch. Breathe for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Noticing that sensation that accumulates and then the releasing. And then we'll come into the other side. So dropping that leg down, kicking your other foot up towards the ceiling. Again, notice how straight can you make that leg? Where does it naturally want to stop? And then beginning to find that stretch, trying to straighten your knee, pulling your toes back towards your face. That way we're engaging this entire back line of your leg. Right. Breathing, holding that tension, never to the point of pain, but wherever you feel like there's a little bit of that productive stretching, discomfort, and then relax, bend the knee, let everything shorten and release. Any movement that feels right, go for that. And then we'll go back into that position one more time, straightening the leg, pull the toes back, kick your heel up and out as if you're going to touch your heel towards the ceiling, and breathe for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Moving that leg, and then allowing that to come back down to the floor. All right. And so one final thing we're going to do here is I'm going to have you take both legs straight out down in front of you, and then take both of your arms up overhead. And I want you to think about getting as long as you possibly can. Pull your arms together almost as if you're going to touch your bicep to your ear. All right. Pull your legs together. Feel that contact, that squeeze between your legs. Take a breath in and then exhale. See if you can allow your body to come into contact with the floor. You can allow your feet to fall apart to each side. And just notice this length. If there's discomfort or pinching anywhere, maybe in your shoulder from that overhead reach, you can adjust yourself. And we're just gonna wrap things up here with 5 deep, long breaths together. So staying in this position, you can close your eyes if you feel comfortable, breathing in and breathing out. And then whenever you feel ready, if you want to kind of wiggle your body and shift, or if you would like to stay in this position, you're welcome to hang out here for a few more minutes or as long as you have, whatever is going to be, again, most beneficial for you in your day. Right? The beauty of these things is that it doesn't take a ton of time to experience a lot of benefits from them. And so that way, incorporating them into your day can be actually relatively easy to do. Right? But the flip side of that is there tends to be, right, more benefit the more you do, right? Up to a certain point. It's like if you have time for a longer practice, more movement, more relaxation, more rest, right? Certainly enjoy that time that you get to be here with your body. And so we'll kind of pause and allow things to end at this point. Right? And I want to thank you, and you should thank yourself and thank your body for all the things that it does for you, asking it for its cooperation as you go about the rest of your day today. And hopefully I will see you again soon.